Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ultimate complete Airsoft Beginner's Guide, where we are going to discuss about everything you need to know before start playing Airsoft, from is it legal to how to upgrade your replica. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to try to make my points as summarized as possible, because I want to keep this video just short enough for you guys to be able to watch it, but not long enough so that you're going to get bored. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, chapter 1, legal stuff. Now, before you even consider thinking about buying an Airsoft replica or Airsoft equipment or anything remotely similar to that, you have to find out if Airsoft is legal in your country. And this can be achieved in two ways. One, just Google search it. Is Airsoft legal in my country? Or, if there is an Airsoft shop in your area, then yes, Airsoft is legal in your country. Otherwise, they cannot sell it. They cannot sell you Airsoft replicas if it's illegal. They're going to get arrested. So, now you know that it's legal. You need to find out how old enough you have to be in order to play. Now, same as previously, ask Google or go into an Airsoft store and ask them there. Now, these guys there are going to solve many of your questions, if not all. Chapter 2, get to know the sport. So now that you know how old you have to be in order to play Airsoft and that it's legal in your country, you have to find out what Airsoft actually is. Now, you definitely have seen those novelist videos or some other Airsofters, and you think, yeah, Airsoft is very easy. Yeah, I thought of that as well. I was like, okay, I'm going out there, I'm going to rip everyone, I'm going to be the best one. It doesn't work that way. You are going to slightly and slowly build your way to the top. You have to upgrade yourself, if you know what I mean. Now, Airsoft is very difficult. It is in the limit of the extreme sports category, and that is because most of the time you're going to be running around in equipment, in a lot of equipment actually, depending on your gear, and you're going to be running around a lot. No one is going to treat you like it's a new guy, so let's cut him some slack. You are not going to get that treatment in Airsoft. Everyone is equal, whether you have one game, whether you have 150,000 games. It's the same thing. It doesn't change the way people treat you, and it shouldn't actually. Imagine that you're playing Battlefield 1 and you are level 1 and you go against people that are level 150s with 100 service stars on Worlds and the M97G. The MG97. That's exactly what Airsoft feels like when you start out. You're going to be working as a team most of the time with at least 5 or sometimes even 20 people. So you will build your communication skills, you will build your teamwork skills as well, whether you like it or not, because that's the way Airsoft is played. And it's a very good workout. You will get tired very easily, you will sweat. I guarantee you that everyone sweats in Airsoft. I haven't seen every single one guy that doesn't get sweaty. So Airsoft is a sport where you're going to run a lot, you're going to jump around a lot, you're going to walk a lot, you're going to communicate a lot. You are going to communicate with people that you don't like. So you have to keep in mind that sometimes you may be a teammate with people you don't like, or they don't like you, and you have to try to work out with them. It happens to me a lot of times. So you have to communicate with people that you don't like. And that's the most difficult part for introverts, especially. Communication. Okay, so now you know what Airsoft is. And I think I've talked negatively about Airsoft, where it's awesome. But you have to know the two sides, because it's not the novel, it's a 50 kills and 0 deaths situation. It's also the noob guy who just started playing out. And yeah, you have to burst that bubble if you want to actually play and have fun. Lucky for you, the Airsoft community is very welcome to newcomers, and always willing to help you with almost everything that you may have in mind. Almost everything. If you have a question, at least 5 people will answer that for you. Or it's going to be already answered somewhere else, in another part of the world. Check Reddit. Reddit is useful most of the times. Yeah. Now that you know what Airsoft is and the communities, you have to start playing. The quickest and easiest way to do that is by searching for my local Airsoft arena and asking them to try out. Or if you don't know about your local Airsoft arenas because maybe there's not going to be a website, maybe it's not going to be easy to find them, go into an Airsoft store. These guys are linked to Airsoft arenas because most of the times they sponsor them, or if they not sponsor them, they play with them, they organize events and stuff, so they will know how to guide you, they will know where to play. Yeah, Airsoft stores is a very good way to start. That's where I found out about my local Airsoft club, because sometimes you must join an Airsoft club in order to play, at least in Greece, at least in my island actually. Yeah, it's pretty confusing, so you have to get as many information as you can. So Airsoft stores are going to guarantee you that information. Before buying anything Airsoft related, I suggest that you going out and rent stuff in a Sunday skirmish, because there is a high chance that you're not going to like the sport. Alright, there are people who came here, played one day and with rented equipment, and they didn't like it, they never came back. And this is going to save you hundreds of dollars or euros or whatever your currency is in unwanted stuff that you're not going to sell, or if you sell, you're going to not make them back, even the slightest. So before buying anything, try it out. That's what I suggest you do. I didn't. I bought a lot of gear before even starting playing Airsoft. Yeah, at least I like the sport. But I never thought maybe I would not like it. Don't do the same mistakes as me. That's why I'm making this video. So now that you know that Airsoft is something that you want to do, it's about time to gear up. And we're going to start with the most important piece of equipment that you can get, and it's your eye protection. Eye protection is the most important piece of your gear, most important piece of your equipment, and your eyes are the most important part of your body, and something that if it gets hurt bad enough, it cannot be replaced, it cannot be changed. It's been proven that around 140 FPS is enough to make you go blind, so invest in a good pair of eye protection. Now there are 2 or 3 kinds of eye protection. I have 2 here, so this is a very basic glasses, yeah. Nothing special, no filters on it, just a piece of hard plastic. Now you have to look out for specific numbers here. We have ballistic numbers on both of these. I'm going to show you in a second. This is one of the types, and this is a mask. It's an Airsoft mask. Now this is a good one. It also has the specific and ballistic numbers that are required for Airsoft, and both of these were bought from Airsoft stores, so you know that these are qualified for Airsoft. So slightly up here you're going to be able to notice some markings, some numbers and some letters as well that are both written on this side here. Let me get it focus. Yeah, this definitely is easier to notice. Now these are, I think these are different numbers from the other one we saw. So this means that these have been tested. I don't know exactly what these numbers mean, but you know that they are tested for Airsoft because these ballistic numbers prove it. Okay, this is going to be a little more difficult to notice. It's up here, the numbers are up here. Yeah, I can't seem to get them on camera though. They are very small. There we are. Now these numbers will exist. So now about the body of the mask or the glasses, it's about this thing right here. That is going to require to have this ballistic numbers on. If it doesn't, then you're risking your eyes, and I don't think anyone wants to risk the eyes. So invest in eye protection. Now the second most important part of your face is your teeth. Teeth always break in airsoft because people actually don't like using teeth protection. Well, it's very easy. You can get a mask like this, which have this netting, this metal netting on the front, which goes on your mouth like this, and it protects your nose and your teeth from breaking. I'm not sure why people don't use them. I mean, it's okay. It's not the most comfortable thing to use for a long time. It kind of limits you, but I prefer to be a little bit limited and have all of my teeth rather than breaking my teeth just because I want to speak a little bit louder. I've seen someone actually eating a baby. When he was talking, the baby went into his mouth. So yeah, I don't want to. I want to avoid this kind of situation, and if I can, why not? It's like 10, 12 euros. It's not expensive, so why not? Another part of your face that gets very easily injured is your forehead. And if you have a big forehead like I do, you're definitely going to need some kind of cap or hat or bony, or a beanie, or even a helmet to help your forehead and your head area not to be injured by BBs. There was an issue that someone was throwing a grenade on his face, on his head like this on an airsoft game. Things like that happen all the time because people are not paying enough attention to where they throw their stuff. And this guy wasn't wearing a helmet. He got a little bit hurt. He was alright afterwards. But so that's why I suggest you get a helmet, because helmets definitely protect way more than a cap or hat or a beanie, because they are plastic, and plastic helps more than fabric. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now your hands will also get injured, because especially if you play in areas with vegetation, because when there is vegetation there is thorns, and if there is no thorns there's going to be rocks, and if there's not going to be rocks, it's going to be something else entirely that's going to injure your poor little hands. So a pair of gloves, any kind of gloves are good enough. Gardening gloves, bicycling gloves, airsoft gloves, mechanics gloves that are used by military. Airsoft stores always have them in stock. One way or another you're going to find the one you need. Most fields and areas requires you to wear a pair of shoes that has a hard sole and that is high enough to cover your ankles, because that way you help yourself from an ankle strain, and that hurts a lot, I heard. So yes, buying yourself a pair of these. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. I got mine for 45 euros. One time I had a stick embedded to my leg, and my sole actually didn't go in my leg, and I was like, what is this? It was like a stick this big. I was inside my sole, and if I wasn't wearing this boot, I would have cried a lot from the pain. That's pretty much it. I'm going to turn on the flash now. Get a pair of cargo pants, military ones or standard ones. They are durable most of the times. They will help you. Otherwise, a pair of jeans is going to be okay. Just you have to not have to spend much money on it if you want to use it exclusively for airsoft, because you 100% are going to tear it up at some point or another. Knee pads and elbow bands are very important as well. I really wish I had bought a pair of cargo pants with knee pads installed, because my knees hurt a lot. If you want to buy combat pants, always seek for the ones with knee pads. If you're buying, if you already don't want to buy a pair of cargo or combat pants with knee pads, go and buy yourself a pair of knee pads that strap on your knees and the ones that strap on your elbows. The knee pads are going to come off though. They're going to start pulling down your leg. It's going to be really frustrating, so you have to tighten them up all of the time. That's why I suggest you get a pair of combat pads with knee pads. But if you're on a tight budget and you don't want to spend that extra 40, 50, 60 euros on a pair of combat pants with knee pads, I've said this phrase 5 times already. Get yourself a 10 euros a pair of knee pads from, I don't know, your store, AliExpress, everything like that. And now we're moving to the most important subject for all of you guys, buying your first Airsoft replica. This is one of the most easily looked upon topics, because most of us, when we started, we were buying whatever we wanted. Like, you see that one, yeah, that replica looks good, I'm going to buy it. And I ended up with a pile of replicas that doesn't work anymore, or it's broken, or they're not performing well and they're sitting in my weapon rack. So, what I suggest you to do not start with a gas blowback. Gas blowbacks are expensive and you are not going to be performing well. Get an airsoft electric gun, which also goes as AEG. Now, AEGs are the easiest to operate and they work pretty well. So an AEG replica is your main, is the best tool for your job, especially when you're starting out as an assault class. AEGs are perfect. And now the two top categories about AEGs is M4s and AKs. Now these two categories are the best for the new starters, because both of these, especially the M4s, you can find parts everywhere. There are millions of variations of M4s out there, so you can choose whatever you want, from a slitless BR to a DMR. And you will find parts for it. When I say parts, internal parts, upgrade parts, accessories, handguards, everything you want to customize your replica, you're going to find it. You just search for it a little bit, boom, you found it. You get it. It's easy to install because there are tons of tutorials on YouTube about M4s, M4 maintenance, M4 upgrades, M4 customization. And the same thing goes for AKs. These are the two most basic yet most effective categories of airsoft assault replicas you can buy. And that's why you should too. Well, if you're on a budget, SEMA actually makes some really good replicas that are below $100. For example, this one right here. This costed me, and it was expensive, $100. Now I have upgraded some stuff. I have changed this and the stock here, but the body, all of this, still the suppressor is stock. I haven't changed anything, unless you mean the grip and the stock. Now this costed me $100, and it's my favorite one. And it's weird that the 100 euros airsoft gun is my favorite, but it is my favorite. I'm still using it to this day. I've also made some small upgrades to it. Now, one other SEMA M4, I'm going to show you the variations here. It's this one. Now, this is mostly an SPR replica. It's on the same exact price. The internals are exactly the same. A little bit changed, but you will get the same performance out of this. I've tried to upgrade this as well, and you can see already the difference between these two replicas, and these are both M4s. You can see that these are for two different playstyles. This one is a CQB M4A1, and this one is a Mark 12 Mod 1, which is more from an SPR or DMR. And yeah, SEMA is very good for budget, because I know that most of you guys truly are on a budget here, just like I am. If you have a little bit more money to spare, then I definitely recommend to get an Arcturus M4. Now this is an Arcturus M4. Now we are on the next level of quality and performance. Now this costs around $150, and oh my god, it's just a perfect replica. It's sturdy, the handguard is metal, the body parts here, the upper and lower receiver are plastic. The stock tube, the buffer tube, is actually very interesting, because the way to remove it, you just do it like the real one, where you unscrew this thing and it comes off. And that's why I love this. Now this doesn't have a MOSFET, unfortunately, but it comes pre-installed with the 6.03 millimeter inner barrel, which means that the narrower the inner barrel, the better the accuracy is, so it's more accurate. The hope is really good, and after all, it's one of my favorite replicas as well. We have also ambidextrous mag release and also bolt cuts release. I'm going to show you because I like it. So you have the bolt cuts here, which works and it's awesome. I have done reviews for all of 3 airsoft replicas in my channel. You can go and check them out if you want to, because I can talk about this for hours. Now that you bought your Airsoft replica, you have to go to chrono it. Now what does chrono means? There is a device that's called the chronograph, which measures the speed of your BB that goes out of your barrel, and the speed is measured in FPS or feet per second. Most of the times, local fields have limits. Your local field has the limits on FPS depending your platform or your role. For example, in my airsoft fields, I am required as an assault to have a replica that operates maximum at 1.3 joules, and most of the times replicas come with springs that operate at higher joules, so you have to measure them to make sure that you are inside the limits, and if you're off the limits you have to change your airsoft spring. Accordingly, you're going to have to ask around what type of spring you're going to get, because it always depends on your factory spring, on how many FPS it gets. For example, my Arcturus M4 here, it got around 1.35 joules out of the box, so I had to change it to an M100 spring. My girlfriend's M4, which was the same one, got 1.45 joules, so you can see there is a very big difference in joules over there with the same BB, or the same weight of BBs, so you have to manually see that for yourself. But if you want to keep it around 1.3 joules, an M100 spring is a good one, M110 maximum, because otherwise you're going to get many joules and you're going to not be able to play. Sidearms. You do not have to buy a sidearm, because most of the time, especially as an assault, you're not going to use it. So I have sidearms. I am 99.9% of the time not using them. It's very rare to use them because most of the engagement is going to occur in distances where your primary replica is going to be able to operate, especially if you're running a low joule configuration. So the 100 extra bucks you're going to save from a replica, from a pistol, use them to upgrade your primary. It's going to be better. We're going to talk about later in the video. Now about the batteries. You bought an AEG. Most of the times they come with a battery. Why is my flash keep going on? I may be overheating my phone right now. So most of the times Airsoft replicas come with batteries. They are trash. Throw them away, do not use them. It's way better to buy a LiPo battery. They are a little bit more pricey at around 15 to 20 euros. But they will last you way longer. They will operate way better. You're going to notice a very big difference switching from limit batteries to LiPo batteries, and you will not understand what I'm saying until you try it for yourself. So LiPo batteries are really good. Even the 7.4 volt ones, I'd suggest getting a 7.4 volts ones, because most of the replicas can handle this power. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Extra gear. Now we're going to talk about the rest of the gear that you must get. So now you will definitely notice that most air players in your fields are wearing vests or chest rigs. Now what's the difference? The difference is none. It's always come down to personal preference. Chest rig and vests do come in various sizes and shapes and prices. Let me show you. Now this is a Miltech chest rig, which is a modular one. I haven't used it in an airsoft battle at the moment, because I was planning to use it with my G3. That's why I got these pouches. This is modular, which means that you can put everything you want on. There's a lot of space. Figuratively, there's space to put any pouches you want. Yeah. So the difference is that the chest rig covers only your area below your chest, like this. And they are very good in hotter areas or in the summer, because you're going to heat up in the summer. What I personally use is this. This is a very simple yet useful vest that I bought from Taiwan Gun for 15 bucks. Now this is one of my favorite pieces of equipment for many reasons. One is because it's beautiful, it's very lightweight, it covers all your area here, all of the chest, and on your belly as well. It gets very hot, especially in the summer. It also came with some fake show you some fake pads here, as you can see, which made it look sturdier. Now it was a really good purchase. They also come in various shapes and sizes, and it all comes down to your personal preference. So let's put this away and let's continue. Especially for people that are on tight budget, most of the times platforms like AliExpress or Temu offer sometimes you get offered cheaper rigs, especially if you want to buy a replica of a chest rig or a vest. They do offer very, very, very cheap stuff, considering the real thing. You can get that. If you're on a really, really tight budget, you have to focus on BBs and magazines for your primary replica, because this is what you're going to operate. And buying extra stuff, it means less money for BBs, and BBs are more important than in other mag pouch. So if you want to play and enjoy the sport without having to reload your magazines 25 times per round, you have to get 4 to 6 magazines. Now I am operating 7 magazines or 6 magazines, depends on the setup, and they are more than enough to get you at least 2 hours of playing, especially woodland fields where you don't shoot that much. So now we're going to talk about the magazines that you're going to get for your ARs or your M4s. They vary a lot in shapes, sizes, materials, prices, but the two main categories are high caps and mid caps. High capacity magazines are high capacity magazines. I'm going to show you one right now. This is a high capacity magazine, and as you can see, there is a port here where you pour in the BBs, and down here there is this wheel that you wind, and it feeds the BBs through a tube right here and puts them out from here for you to shoot. Now these magazines do sound like maracas when filled up, and that's why most fields don't like them. And if you don't want to sound like a maraca, you should get a mid-cap magazine. Now this is an Arcturus mid-cap mag, which also can become a real cap magazine. Now mid-cap magazines hold around 120 to 170 rounds, and real caps hold 20 or 30 rounds depending the size of the magazine. And I prefer mid-caps as well, because you don't have to shoot 30 BBs and then wind again, shoot and wind it, shoot, because that's very, very annoying. Now, if you don't have any idea on how to build a chest rig or how to get what pouch to get, there are tons of pre-built chest rigs chest rigs. You can't find a pre-built vest, but there are tons of pre-built chest rigs out there that will give you more than enough pouches for your magazines, for your, I don't know, maybe flashlight, maybe radios, all that stuff. Now there are people that buy extra gear like radios, hydro flasks, grenades even. They are not necessary, and if you want to buy something like that, buy a hydro flask, and you have to invest in it, because otherwise you're going to be drinking plastic with your water, and the only thing you want to fill yourself with plastic. Radios are also cool, but in small skirmishes on Sunday you're not going to need them very much. You can always shout at your teammates. It's always a better way to communicate. If you want to buy a combat suit, you have to ask around of what your official camo pattern is, because when in your country your official camo pattern is going to be the most effective, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But if you just like a specific camo pattern, you can always get it. It will work, just not that as effective as your official will. And you also don't have to spend a lot of money on the combat suit. The most simple one will do the job. Then you don't have to spend $300, $400, $500 or $600 on a very, very, very complicated and very complex suit that you are not going to need, because who are you kidding? We're adults playing with toys. Why do we need a $700 combat suit? And that's what most people don't understand. You are also going to need a backpack or a bag to carry your equipment from and to the field. That's very important. You need to have something to put your stuff inside. And finally, battle belts are a really good piece of equipment, but they never come pre-built. They are expensive to buy, and the pouches are also expensive. I wouldn't recommend it if you're on budget, but if you're not on a budget and you want to spend some money, this is my current setup, my battle belt setup. It is from Gear. It comes with this inner belt that goes around your waist, and then it has Velcro, and you stack the battle belt up. And I've fitted it with all of the stuff that I'm going to need. It works perfectly, it doesn't get loosened, and it's my favorite piece of equipment right now, after the vest. But they are expensive to build, and you didn't see that. And sometimes you may build it wrong. But yeah, if you can, go for it. Now we're making to the fun side. The common mistakes we all did when we started. First thing, and most important, do not buy a sniper for your first replica. Do not ever do this to yourself, and do not ever put yourself in this situation. First things first, specialty fields in my area require you to have at least 15 games in your bio in order to play. And that's very logical. Your sniper won't perform just like Novice's sniper does. That's another thing you have to remember. Snipers are really expensive because you cannot get something that slightly works. You have to spend a lot of money on upgrading it, and it's not worth it, especially for a new player. You will not be able to engage in shorter distances. You will be required to have a pistol or a secondary replica, and you won't be able to enjoy the sport. For example, because picture this, you are with a sniper on this side here, and there is an airsoft and a guy with an M4 over here, full auto M4 versus sniper. You are on 20 meters distances, you are 30 meters distances, 40, 50 meters distances. Didn't I press the button to record? Then why did it? Now picture this. You are shooting one baby, the baby misses. You have to reload, reacquire the target and shoot again. In that time, the dude with the M4 is going to have put 20 rounds on your face. And 19 of them will miss, but the one will hit you in the face. When you try to reload and engage again, the guy will have you hit and you're going back to your spawn. You will have to walk around 100 meters again to get to the spawn. And that's why do not get a sniper for your first replica, unless you're a masochist or you want to do things the hard way. And you have to be allowed to do so. Check your requirements. Do not buy all the cool replicas you see. Waste of money, and most of the times, especially the uniquer ones, will not have parts available. We have a guy who uses a stand, who tries to use the stand actually. He cannot find the batteries to put in the stock. That piece of metal you call stock, he can't find the battery to put on. He cannot work it. It's heavy, it's awfully uncomfortable to hold, and it's useless. And my flash is tight, it gets. You see a cool replica on the internet and you want to buy it. Before buying it, find the YouTube reviews about it, ask the people around your clubs or your teammates, ask the veterans of Airsoft, and also ask Reddit. Or just simply, is this M4 good? Before you do anything like this. Because if it's bad, you're going to have wasted a lot of money that could be put in somewhere else, and you're going to regret that purchase, just like I did many times. Do not do that. We're going to create a diagram. A simple one, like this and this. So here on 0 is going to be the repairability and upgradability, and it's going to be increasing this way. This here is uniqueness, and it's going to be increasing that way. The more unique your airsoft is, the less options you're going to have for repairability and upgradability. It means this because unique airsoft guns use unique airsoft accessories and gear and parts. So the more unique your airsoft is, the less repairs you're going to be able to make, the less upgrades you're going to be able to make, and the less accessories you're going to be able to mount on it. So consider this. Also, the parts are going to be expensive and difficult to find. and most of airsoft stores won't sell them because no one buys this stuff. So consider that before buying that unique replica you saw on Taiwan gun. I've already talked about this, but you may find the sport difficult or not preferred after you play your first game, so do not invest a lot of money if you're not sure if you like it or not. Try and play some more, find out if you like it, and then buy whatever you want. More expensive doesn't mean more better. A very good example of this is APS Airsoft. APS is a company that makes some really cool looking M4s. They are all trash. I've searched for it, I've done my research, I know what I'm saying. Try it. Research around, is APS good? They're expensive and they perform trash if they work. Just because you bought that Crytek M4 with the Perion, MOSFET and all of that gear doesn't mean that you're going to be a good operator, then you're going to get a lot of kills. Because you can be easily humbled by someone who's more experienced and uses a Springer that bought for $10 at his local Chinese store. The replica doesn't make the operator. That's because you bought that high-end and expensive replica doesn't mean you're going to have the KD ratio of a battlefield hacker. Remember that. Do not assume that you know everything about airsoft just because you watched that one novice video. You don't. Ask around and find out. And people will help you. It's okay to not know stuff, but it's not okay to assume that you know stuff. Remember that. It's a really useful tip for life. If you have problems, always ask for help. The airsoft community is going to be very happy to help you, as they did with me, and as I'd also try to do with newer players. Even though I'm a new player as well, but not as new. The people there always help each other. It's a really good community out there. Okay, we have now reached chapter 5, your first game. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be excited for that day, and here is how to make it last. First things first, before going to the field, especially if you haven't gone before, if you haven't contacted them, you have to read the guidelines of them. Now, most fields have the guidelines uploaded in a PDF or in a sector of the website. Follow the rules of the field and the rules of the game makers or the scenario makers. Briefing is the most important part of the game, especially if you're a new player. Always listen to the briefing, never skip it, especially if you're new. Most of the information that you are going to need to know about the field, about the dangers of the field, about the scenario, are going to be told there. Safety instructions are the most important as well, because we want to have fun and not injure ourselves. So follow them. The older players will know them, so they will guide you. And most of the time before the briefing starts, they're going to tell you what to do. Eye protection, you always have to put it on unless it is a designated area by the field owner, the scenario maker, or your team, because otherwise you're going to be in a very high chance of losing your eye. There are people out there that are shooting BBs. If one BB ricochets and gets on your face, it's done. Always wear your eye pro. Eye protection. Eye pro is a sort of the eye protection. Always wear your eye pro unless you are told that you cannot. You're told that you don't have to. If it is your first time playing on the field, do not rush. Take your time, learn your surroundings. It's better to get out and go back to the respawn rather than to injure yourself trying to falling on the hole that you didn't see, or hitting something that you didn't see, or falling down and hitting yourself, or even falling off a cliff or something. So keep an eye out for the field. It's better to lose a point than to lose a limb, than to lose your eye, than to hurt yourself. Always protect yourself. It's more important to stay safe than to get kills. Remember that. Especially if you play on abandoned buildings, they're going to be dangerous spots. Be aware of your surroundings. Now, I know that it's going to be difficult at the beginning, but you have to be aware to know where your team is, know where the enemy team is, know where the danger spots of the map are. and where the objective is. Now, the main goal of Airsoft, what is it? No, it's not to win, and no, it's not to get most kills. It's to have fun. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, always call your hits. The amount of times that I have been shooting people and they are not calling their hits is insane. Then you not gain anything from not calling your hits. You're not going to win the game just because you didn't call your hits. You're going to frustrate everyone else on the field. You are going to get yourself kicked out of the field or of the Airsoft club, and if you get kicked out of the club, you're not going to be able to play. Call your hits even if you're not 100% sure that you were hit. Even if you feel something that feels like you've been hit by a BB, call it. Please, for the love of, for the love of Airsoft, please call your hits. I beg you. Finally, we are at chapter 6 about the transportation. If you didn't buy a replica carrying bag, you can find the big bag to carry it on, or you can even carry it on the box that it came with. Remember that you can carry it from your field, from your house to the field, or from your house to the repair station, or whatever to your mechanic, to your engineer, to your technician. And do not carry it around on your car all the time. You're going to get a lot of trouble if you just carry it around. You maybe get arrested as well, because people are going to think that you are going to threaten someone. Now, sometimes the law requires to remove scopes and red dots on the transportation. Experienced people will let you know about it. You must make the transportation of your gear and equipment more as discreet as it can get. Always just transport your replica in the most discreet way you can, because with that you're going to avoid getting arrested, injured or killed. Airsoft replicas are very often passed for real steel firearms, and there have been many accidents of people who just carry their replicas around and trying to point it to someone who has a real steel gun and they get injured. It's okay to wear your combat uniform, just don't try to make a fuss off of it. Try to get your gear hidden most of the time. A guy running around in full military gear is going to raise a lot of suspicions and will definitely get you in trouble. Chapter 7. Let's talk about the BBs now. Yeah, BBs. BBs are very important for me. BBs are very important for your replica, and low quality BBs can harm your replica. So try to get high quality BBs. ASG makes some very good ones. I've been using them for years now. They are perfect. I haven't had any replica and any problems with them. Bad quality BBs can shatter inside your replica and damage the internal components, so try to avoid them. Now, the recommended BBs for casual assault rifles that shoot around 1.1 to 1.3 joules are going to be 0.25 or 0.28. Heavy BBs won't take you anywhere. For example, if you get an assault rifle that shoots around 330 FPS, 310 FPS, and you put in a 0.48 BB, it will do you no good, because the hop-up will not be able to push it out, and it's going to do this. You don't want that. You want range. You have to keep a balance between BBs and spring power. Never reuse BBs. What means reuse? You shoot out of the BB and you put it back in. BBs get deformed when they get out of the barrel, because the speeds of the BB, the acceleration of the BB is really high. The speed that the BB reaches before exiting the barrel is really high, so it will get deformed and it will damage your replica. So now we're going to talk about upgrades of your replica. This is the chapter 7.5, because I forgot what in the main script and I had to write it down. I've already told you about the pistol and the $100 or $150 or $200 you're going to save. These this money can be put in upgrading your replica. The easiest upgrades that you can do yourself on your replica is to change the hop-up backing, the hop-up and the inner barrel. The hop-up backing makes sure that your BBs live and have a tighter grouping. What grouping means? Here you have a target. Let's say that this is your target, okay? And this is your center. Now, when aiming at one spot, specifically, you're going to start firing BBs. The one is going to hit here, the one's here, 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 perhaps here, 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 here. Now, all of this area of BBs is going to be the grouping of your BBs. Wider grouping means that BBs will hit here, 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 here. And what the hop-up backing does is that it makes your BBs hit closer to the center. So for example, if you use a very bad hop-up backing, you may get grouping that you may get a BB hitting here, you may get another BB hitting here, here, even here, or even here, here, or outside of the target. While a better hop-up backing will help you hit here, 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 and here, and here, and here. So you see that the accuracy increases. And the inner barrel also does that. It makes your BBs go straight. And yeah, so increased accuracy, you're going to need a better barrel and you're going to need a better backing. Now the hop-up is always a fun addition because it also helps you increase accuracy. And these are what I would suggest you to prioritize before touching your airsoft gearbox or your motor. If you want to touch your motor and inner and your gearbox, I would recommend it. As a new player, do not do it. Seek help from a professional or technician. Now, the most important one is a good receiving of your gears, which means that what the receiving does is makes the gears have a better space around them and between them, and it helps them not to break themselves. It's very important and easy. It's complicated. It's a very important, delicate procedure that is going to increase or decrease your replica's lifespan. A piston and piston head is also very, very important because the piston is what pushes the air, what pushes the air out of the cylinder and to the BB. Better gears is going to be a very good upgrade too, because some of the gears that the airsoft replicas come with can be bad. I haven't got any experience with this, but you may do, so keep in mind, ask around, always ask around, and you are going to find out. Alright, chapter 8, let's talk about sidearms now. I have these sidearms, but now let's talk about it. Now, just like the primaries, sidearms have categories. The more common, the more better. But it doesn't always work that way. Now, what you're going to look first is to get a common platform. A Glock, 1911s, high caps are the most common out there, which means that magazines and other upgrade parts or repair parts are going to be widely available. You have to get a pistol that is going to make you walk around comfortably. If you get Desert Eagle just like I did, you're going to have some trouble. Now, both of the pistols always separate in two categories: the AEPs, electric airsoft pistols, or the gas blowback pistols. Gas blowbacks are fun to play, and I would prefer them, but I haven't tried an AEP, but it looks like AEPs are also a good option. So it comes to personal preference. Sometimes people maybe want some performance over realism, because AEPs can shoot 110 BBs out of a mag, while the gas blowback variants may be able to shoot only 50 maximum. There is a very big price difference at the magazines as well, and the price difference at the pistol themselves, but it all comes down to personal preference. The biggest drawback on airsoft gas blowback pistols, because in the APs this doesn't apply, is that not all magazines fit all of the replicas. For example, KJ Works has a different magazine design and a different pistol design, which means that the WeTech and Tokyo Marine magazines from a Glock will not fit on the KJW work gauge a works Glock, which is strange, but it's true, and it is a thing for all of the gas blowback pistols, and that's why I won't recommend getting a gas blowback replica as your first replicas, because they are very annoyingly and frustratingly difficult to work. If you go with a gas blowback pistol, there are many options to choose from, and I mean from companies, not only from designs. Go for the most popular companies like Tokyo Marui or Witek. Witek is a really good clone of Tokyo Marui, so that means that they are compatible, and what that means is just because Tokyo Marui has every part available, they are going to fit inside your Witek pistol, so that you are going to be able to play better. And you always have to check for repairability and available parts, because nothing lasts forever and something will definitely break in your pistol or primary. So you have to know if there are parts available to repair it, and that's why we suggest what we suggest. 1 or 2 extra magazines will be enough for your pistol, because you are not going to use that much, and unless you run it as a primary. Now 0.25 BBs or 0.28 BBs going to be really good for your pistols, because most of the pistols shoot at very low FPS, and yes, heavy BBs will not going to do anything. Let's talk about customization now, and I'm not going to mean upgrades internally. I'm talking about grips, stocks, handguards, all the stuff. They do not affect the performance at all. If you put on that big suppressor on your M4, it's not going to affect your performance. If you want to put that big scope on it, it will not affect anything at all. If you're in tight budget, avoid customization parts, especially red dots or scopes, because you can and will most probably going to be able to trace BBs, just like the tracers in real guns. You're going to be able to see the BB, where your last BB went, and the path of it, and you're going to be able to maneuver from there. You're not going to need a red dot or a scope. But if you want to buy a scope or a red dot, you have to understand that it varies between the distances of the engagement distances. For example, in CQB, red dots are going to be way more effective than scopes, so you have to buy 2 of them, a scope and a red dot for CQC, close quarter combat, and for long engagement distances, you're going to have to get a scope. Yes, it's a big fuss, that's why you don't have to get anything. Iron sights are there for a reason, and they will not need any zeroing. Where your needle on the front aims, that's where the BB goes. Remember that. All AG's magazines will operate the same despite their size, shape and capacity, so buy whatever you want. It's out of the personal preference. If you want a 60 round, a very long magazine or a very short magazine, it's up to you. It's up to you all, mostly. And that's pretty much everything I had to say for this video. It's taking me a lot of time to record this. It's going to take... What the fuck is going on? And we have finally reached the end of the video. It's been a really long one. It's the second time I sit on the camera like this and make a video. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not used to cameras. But yeah, it's been a long video. I hope that it helped you learn some stuff today. I hope that it helped you start Airsoft. I hope that I didn't forget anything. If I did forget something, please leave it in the comments down below. I will read it. I will answer to it. If you have any questions, do so as well. I try to answer everything. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that you're playing Airsoft to have fun, not to be better than anyone else. You're playing for you and you only. Alright, remember that. Only you. You have to have fun. Otherwise, why do it? Just remember that. Have fun, be safe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did in making it. Subscribe if you're brand new and want to see more coming. Hit that bell. It's going to be somewhere here or down here. Somewhere here or here. If you don't want to miss my latest videos, comment on your opinion about the video, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun, have a good night or day, and I will see you in the next one.